Welcome to the Northern Americas, where vast open plains and woodlands are the home to some of the continent's largest mammals. In this episode, we look at the roaming lives of the Northern American M6, a distant cousin of the African buffalo. These large, bulbous, hairy and foul-smelling creatures roam in vast herds across the countryside. They consume vast amounts of plant life as they move. Each M6 weighs a staggering 60 tons. This weight is heavily comprised of fat, fur, and the vast contents of their stomachs. In order to continue this purge of this plentiful landscape, the herd must cross a river. They've found the dirt trails of an earlier herd, which lead to a crossing point. Little do they know of the horrific dangers that await them. Giant Su-85s, distant cousins of the alligator. They are cunning and heavily adapted predators. Being experts in the art of camouflage, they strap logs to themselves to hide amongst driftwood in the water. They then position themselves ready to ambush any foolhardy mammals that attempt to cross at such a bottleneck. They wait in complete stillness, with only their heads exposed above the water. Stealth is paramount. The M6s have arrived. They pause and then force out one of their own to test the water. Better safe than sorry. After all, what's the life of a single animal against the herd? The volunteer treads lightly, so not to wake potential predators. The Su-85s stay low, and resist the urge to pounce the lone, obscure animal. It's unlikely the poor M6 has spotted any of the predators, as its field of vision is unbelievably narrow. The M6 makes it across, and gives the all-clear to the herd. The ground shakes as the entire herd charges the water, each of the animals desperate to make it across. The Su-85s leap into action and pounce out of the water. Due to the M6's generous weight, it takes 3 Su-85s to drag an M6 back to the riverbed. They latch on and drag. Other Su-85s are springing into action as the bountiful opportunities of the stupid are rare. The M6s don't stand a chance. Once bitten, they're dragged under the water and slowly drowned. There's more than enough fatty meat on an M6 to sustain a trio of Su-85s for at least a week. The bite of an Su-85 penetrates the bones of an M6, breaking them and rendering escape impossible. One by one, the M6s on both flanks are dragged to their doom, their comrades unable to help. With their numbers thinned, they're weaker, but they're content in the knowledge that now there'll be much more food to go around the brutalized herd. They carry on in search of lush plant life. We rejoin our herd of M6s as they continue in the tracks of a previous herd. This leads them to a lush forest, but the route becomes thin, and they're forced to heavily tighten their formation. Any number of horrors could await them inside such dense woodland, but the herd is undaunted. With the vision of unlimited consumption imprinted in their minds, the herd ventures forwards into the mysterious tree line. The M6s aren't stupid animals. They try in vain to keep quiet, as to not attract predators from miles around. Unsurprisingly, it didn't work. An IS-3 appears out of the forest, a distant relative of the grizzly bear. The IS-3 charges straight for the herd and kills an M6 outright. The panic is slow to set in, as most of the M6s have other things on their mind, such as grazing. The IS-3 lets off loud roars, and finally, the M6s start to react. They become flustered and spread out into the forest. The IS-3 quickly pursues them into the tree line. The IS-3 may look slow and heavy, but like the M6s, you'd be horrifically mistaken. They can reach a blistering 23 miles per hour, faster than a blubbery M6. The M6s continue to flee for increasingly dense flora, with the IS-3 closing the distance. After 15 minutes, the M6s have come to an opening. The IS-3 won't leave its territory, and so the remaining M6s have almost escaped the danger. They're out, but the IS-3 picks off one last M6 with its 122mm long claws. The IS-3 lets off a series of loud roars and retreats to collect its bounty. Sadly, the fatty mass of the M6 is too large to fit inside the IS-3's den. The M6 wedges itself at the entrance. The IS-3 becomes upset, but at least he's got an earlier T-50 kill to feed off. Speaking of food, the M6s have arrived at their dream destination, lush flatlands. Though they may have lost half their herd, they're consoled with the abundance of food at their grasps. There is a vast food chain in the land of War Thunder, and the M6s know their place.
Those magnificent men in their flying machines, they go up to the up, they go down to the down.